everyone, and welcome to the My Ray of Sunshine podcast. My name is Mayra, and I'm here to help you receive the advice you deserve. Now, if you all are here, it's probably because you want to know the truth behind podcasting. And what better person to ask than to ask me, a podcaster? Welcome to season 2, by the way. It was actually an unexpected season 2 because I did have to take a week break to gather everything that I had hoped for because, I'm not going to lie, I was struggling, but in a bit, you will know why. So, the truth about podcasting is that it takes a lot of work and effort that goes unseen because you just see the finished product, you listen to the finished episodes, especially if a podcaster releases an episode every single week or bi-weekly. There's a lot of planning that is involved that you don't really think about. And that is what I wanted to kind of highlight because it's a lot. A lot goes into just one single episode that is being released. So it's a lot of the planning. You have to record a lot, hope that your voice is in good shape. Because I feel like in the beginning of my episodes, like season 1, a few of the beginning of the episodes, like I feel like I was kind of losing my voice a little bit because, I just talk a lot. I talk a lot, if you haven't noticed. But when you're podcasting, that can be like a huge concern because your podcast literally relies on a voice that sounds top notch. So yeah. So although I didn't lose it, obviously, I just, sometimes I sounded a little bit raspier than I would sound on a normal day. But that's just because, I stream a lot on Spoon. I talk a lot for my podcast episodes, and I'm just the person that loves talking. So your podcast relies on your voice pretty much. So yeah, you have to make sure that it's always top notch. But yeah. And a lot of it is also not only the planning part, the recording part. I record late at night. Honestly, very, very late at night. Just because that is when it is the quietest in my house. I don't want the background noise, none of that. So things that you normally wouldn't even think about, you would kind of have to really rely on, like a quiet household when it comes to your podcast because it's very, very crucial for you to do that. Another thing that you have to keep in mind too is the amount of time you have editing your podcast. Now, when I first started, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I take forever to edit my podcast episodes because I never knew what I was going to say next until I was able to transcribe my podcast. So it's literally like I'm editing my podcast on a Word document, like as a Word document pretty much. And then the audio is attached to each word. It's pretty cool. But yeah, until I discovered that, my life was like, what the heck? I was all over the place with my podcast because I would take days just editing at my episode, almost like a week, an entire week editing my episode because it was just so hard to predict and edit audio when you couldn't know like how organized your thoughts were. So once I had that just transcribed, it made it a lot easier, let me tell you. So yeah, that is something that, not everyone would tell you because, I feel like we're so focused on what we see, right? We see the finished product, we see successful podcasters doing their thing, but then it's also so much work that is tied along to that and things that you wouldn't even think about. So a few of the lessons that I've learned regarding everything that I've learned through podcasting has been that you honestly need to plan out your content. And when I used to take podcasting courses, one of the podcasting courses said, have at least 3 to 4 episodes that are ready to go. They should be edited. They should be ready to go, literally scheduled any time to go out at any moment, just in case you get sick, just in case you want to go on a vacation, but you still want to release your podcast and be consistent. So many things could happen, and those are your buffer episodes that are just like, okay, out and ready to go, didn't miss a week. So that's kind of what I wish I listened to, because I was so excited to release my first episode. Like, I was so excited. I edited my first episode. I was so excited. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to release it, and I just wanted to get it over with, and that way I could start the podcasting journey. But yeah, I didn't realize that once I released my very first episode, I had to release my next episode and the following episode, and then it was just crazy. So I think that having a backlog of episodes already planned out would have been very beneficial for me, because the fact that I also started video podcasting, it just would have made that transition much easier, because it would have allowed me to learn more about video podcasting before jumping right into it. I get a lot of I don't know, I get very excited. That's what I meant to say. I get very excited when I learn something new. I literally jumped right into video podcasting the second I learned how to do that. Like, how it's as easy as just recording your entire episode and then choosing bits and pieces of the highlights portions to use it for advertising for that episode. So I was just like, okay, I'm going all in. And let me tell you, there was a lot of trial and errors, because nothing is straightforward. And, people are going to show you how to do something with specific softwares and programs that they use, but I had to sort of take the information that I've learned and adapt it to what I use, and kind of like learn the hard way with a lot of trial, a lot of error, and it's just very annoying. So, it's pretty crazy how transitioning to video can be, different. I never expected to go into video. I just felt comfortable talking, and to be honest, before my video podcasting journey started, I would just record my episodes in my PJs. I would just be relaxing, winding down, and now I can't do that. Like, I have to be, presentable, and it can be a little bit of a struggle to do that, because then I'm like, oh no, I have to get ready, I have to wear something nice, I have to fix my hair, all of these things that you would normally not think about, I had to think about. But going hand in hand with my video podcasting journey, I think a lot of it has also been just the fact that, you rely so much on technology when you're podcasting. It's crazy. It's literally insane how much you rely on technology. It's like giving your heart out to that laptop, that microphone, that camera. Like, you are literally just giving your heart and just saying, please just allow me to release my episode. Let me nail this one. Let me do whatever I need to do to get this out into the public. And when you depend so much on technology, it's like it knows. It's like if you use it too much, it's like, oh, okay, you need me to release your episode? How about no? How about I just stop working? Or how about I just freeze for an hour? I swear to you, these things are what happened to me. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's so insane to me to feel so heavily relied, to be so heavily relied on just an equipment, a piece of technology that literally holds my baby podcast. Like, I don't know. So, that has been a struggle. Another struggle of mine, because I'm telling you, sometimes things just didn't work out. Actually, not sometimes. Things rarely seem to work out in my favor. I actually also had to get a new laptop because of it, because I felt that I was not having as much storage, okay? So my previous laptop was super slow. I've had it for years too, but it was insanely slow. It would keep me from being productive, from editing videos quickly. Like, a video that would normally take me like an hour to edit, it would take me double the time just because my laptop kept freezing. And when you rely so heavily on technology, you have to make sure that you are also investing in equipment that is going to give you everything that you need. And even then, you have to figure out alternatives when that fails. So, oh man, I keep thinking about like all the times that my laptop froze for so long, or that a video didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, or I just keep thinking about all those things, and it's frustrating still, because you rely so much on them, and then all you would hope for is that it works out. And the fact that you don't have control over that is scary. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get into podcasting, make sure that you have something very, very reliable to get you started and to keep you going and not have to change your plans. Because again, my season 2 came out unexpectedly. I was doing fine with my season 1. I don't know how long I was planning on doing like my episodes for. Like, I was also kind of wondering like whether I was going to have a break. Because I needed it. I needed to like catch up on my stuff. But I think that it happened perfectly in a way, because even though I was very frustrated, I was overworking myself so much, I just knew my mind and body needed to get a break. And I just needed a breather. I needed to step away from it just for a little bit and try to get my stuff together so that I felt better prepared to provide for all of you. So it's a battle. It's a constant battle. But I think that once you tune into yourself, you are able to know like when your limit is reached. And because I was having all of these issues, not only with technology, but just random external factors would happen, such as losing power, losing Wi-Fi, like all of those things almost affected me not having a podcast for that Friday. And it was really devastating for me, because podcasting means a lot. And I give, and then I forget to have something in return. And I think that's why I kind of just, I was really upset and I was down, and I felt guilty for taking that break that I needed. But I know that it needed to happen. Like, I needed to have that break. And luckily, I was at episode 15 for my season 1. So I'm like, I kind of like that number, 15. Why not? And I decided, like, okay, I take a week break and my season 2 comes out. So it just kind of worked out that way. And I didn't want to, like, let anyone down. But I also needed to remind myself that I can't let myself down in the process. Like I said, I just give. And sometimes I forget to listen to myself and what I actually need. And what kept going through my mind when all of these issues were happening, I'm just like, I physically can't do this. Like, my mind is just cluttered with all of this stress because of my episodes not being able to be released, or my videos not being able to be released. All of these things are happening, and it's just so much for me to keep track of. So what the heck am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do to be able to solve this issue? And I kept ignoring all of those thoughts. I'm just like, okay, I got this, Mayra. And literally, I would never sleep on Thursdays. Thursday nights, I would barely sleep, you guys. So that's why you kind of have to make sure that you have an organized schedule. You have to have a time and a place to lay everything out, to organize yourself. Otherwise, it's just going to consume you. So yeah, just being in tune with yourself and not feeling guilty for just taking a break is very, very crucial for you to do. And yeah, like, when it's too much. When you've reached your limit. I knew when I reached my limit. Like, and I kept going. I kept forcing myself to go because I was like, I have to. I want to. And sometimes, like, me wanting to and me being able to just did not align. So yeah, it's just important to make sure that you give yourself a break with that for your mental sanity. And when you revisit it, you'll feel much, much better and you'll feel like you have a better handle of things. But overall, those are just a few of the things that I've learned based on my podcasting journey. Again, I have been podcasting since May and I am learning every step of the way. I feel like it's a learning process. You're always going to want to improve, and I think it's also so rewarding to be able to connect with so many people. So just making sure that you build those connections, that you build those relationships with other podcasters, with other people in general, to invite them over to your podcast or any sort of thing like that. Like, you need to network. You need to put yourself out there and not be afraid to doing so. Because when I first started podcasting, I was so worried about what other people would think about my podcast. I was so worried about what people would say about my podcast or anything like that. And that fear is not going to get me anywhere because I had to realize and remind myself that, wait a second, like, I'm not doing anything bad and just being completely transparent, putting my heart out there, putting my voice out there. I'm not doing anything bad because I know my intention is good. Like, people can't judge me if they don't know my true intentions. And that's the thing, like, they're still gonna judge no matter what. So you kind of have to be up in everyone's face advertising your podcast, because as uncomfortable as it is for me to do that, like, I just had to accept that that's the only way to grow. And if people don't want to get bombarded by all of my posts or whatever, my videos, like my little Instagram stories or anything like that, they know what to do. Just block me, remove me, whatever. Like, you just have to do whatever you need to do to get your podcast out there, whatever that means to you. And that's kind of what has been going on with me. But yeah, I've learned so much throughout this journey, and I'm so happy that I can say how great it's been, how much I've learned through this process, how much I've networked with so many great podcasters and just people in general. It's such a great feeling, and it's the reason why I podcast. I podcast because I love being able to help other people. I podcast because I love being able to build community with other podcasters and empower other podcasters, because I really do believe that everyone deserves a shout out. I think that, like, other podcasters' hard work doesn't get, appreciated as much as it should. And that's why, like, I know now that podcasting is a lot of work, and I appreciate all of the podcasters who are able to put in that work just to make their listeners happy. And that's also been my mission as well, just to make you guys happy. Like, I do this podcast to help you. Like, that's how selfless I am. But it's also okay to be selfish, and that's what my sister taught me, because, I didn't want to take that break. I wanted to keep going and going and going and never stopping podcasting. But that's what happens in a perfect world. You kind of have to listen to yourself again and know when you need to take a step back. So that is completely okay, and I'm rooting for you. If you want to be a podcaster, if you are a podcaster, if you just know a podcaster, like, I am just so happy to be able to be the voice as part of the podcasting community. And yeah, I'm really excited for my season 2, and just stick around. I hope that you are able to learn something and take away something, some of the messages that I put out there, because honestly, they're supposed to be inspirational, empowering, motivational, and it's all supposed to revolve around positivity, which has always been my end goal. I really hope this podcast made you smile at least once. Stay tuned for more advice of positivity next Friday. As always, it's Mayra. I hope you have such a beautiful day, and now that you know the struggles of podcasting, I hope that it doesn't discourage you. This video was not meant to discourage you. I just wanted to be completely real on what happens behind the scenes, and obviously if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me, because I am more than happy to answer them and engage with all of you, because I love talking to so many people. And also, please feel free to comment down below any of your experiences. If you're thinking about podcasting, if you want to learn more, if you want me to touch on anything that I haven't covered already, please let me know down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release new videos every single Friday, so please stay tuned for the next one. Bye, guys!